They say Kilwa was the Dubai of the 1400s. Before Dubai was sand, an Arab-African empire stretching from Somalia to Mozambique. They controlled Africa's gold, Arabia's spices, and Asia's silk. Coral cities gleamed like mirages. European explorers called it paradise made stone. Then, in 3 days, it vanished. No plague, no rebellion, just gone. The Kilwa Sultanate wasn't a village. It was a Swahili Arab superpower, a trade empire without rivals, an algorithm before computers existed. Then Portuguese ships appeared, not to trade, but to torch. This wasn't conquest, it was assassination. What they burned wasn't just buildings, it was a civilization's right to be remembered. Tonight, we resurrect what they tried to bury. Stay locked. This truth cuts deep. Europe in the 1400s, drowning in plagues and crusades. But Kilwa? Kilwa sparkled. A coral-carved empire born from Omani merchants and Swahili queens. Palaces gleamed, mosques amplified whispers with perfect acoustics. Ports stretched like a nervous system down Africa's coast. They controlled trade across Zanzibar, Mombasa, and Comoros. Gold, ivory, silk, porcelain. They didn't conquer. They connected. From Muscat to Mogadishu, they ran the Indian Ocean. But wealth paints a target, and in the distance, Portugal sails closer. Kilwa didn't win with armies. They won with systems. They read monsoon winds like maps, built tide-powered ports, engineered coral docks with the precision of Swiss watches. Swahili wasn't just language, it was law, poetry, and power. They minted their own gold dinars, not as tribute, as sovereignty. When Ibn Battuta visited, he called it the jewel of cities. But in 1498, the Portuguese arrived, not seeking trade, seeking submission. Kilwa's sultan refused. Portugal didn't negotiate. They aimed their cannons. 1505. Portuguese commander Francisco de Almeida offers a treaty. 72 hours later, Kilwa is on fire. Mosques looted. Gold stolen. A puppet king installed. No war. Just signatures and gunpowder. Kilwa wasn't conquered. It was deleted. But how? Was it force or betrayal? Kilwa didn't fall because it was weak. It fell because it was unstoppable. Too sovereign, too efficient, too non-European. Some nobles traded loyalty for survival, but Portugal betrayed them. They burned manuscripts, banned Swahili in courts, destroyed gold mints. Kilwa's economy wasn't defeated. It was erased. From Zanzibar to Sofala, whispers remained. But history moved on without them. Kilwa became a footnote, until now. Kilwa's true strength? Infrastructure that would make modern engineers weep. Trade guilds ran ports like Swiss banks. Tax systems mapped to lunar calendars and monsoons. Maritime law stretched across 2,000 miles of ocean. Acoustic mosques that carried whispers 100 meters, no tech needed. They built coral palaces that breathe in 40 degrees Celsius heat. 500 years later, they still stand. European castles from the same era, dust. This wasn't just Arab genius or African innovation. It was both, together, unstoppable, until Europe decided to burn what it couldn't build. Here's what they won't teach. Kilwa proved Africa didn't need saving. It built brilliance on its own. That narrative doesn't fit the myth of colonial progress, so it was cut. But not anymore. Because next, we chase a kingdom buried in sand. So powerful, Caesar feared it. So wealthy, they traded in tons of gold. And then, it vanished. They called it legend. We call it Episode 4. You just watched an empire vanish in 3 days. Kilwa ruled the Indian Ocean, then disappeared by ink, fire, and betrayal. It wasn't a collapse. It was a deletion. And now you know, Africa built superpowers. Arab-African alliances shaped global trade. Europe rewrote the ending. But the story doesn't stop. Next time, we dig up a ghost empire that laughed at Rome and disappeared without a trace. Subscribe to the Arab Files. Comment Kilwa Lives if this truth shook you. Share this video if you want the world to know.